If you think you've seen everything about Jimin and Jungkook, think again. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jikook Moment, the place where every second of their interaction feels like a puzzle piece from a much bigger love story. Today, we're not just talking about ordinary fan service. This isn't just about hugs, laughs, or sweet looks on stage. What you'll see and feel today is depth, connection, and maybe a love that's quiet but feels incredibly real. From the spotlight-filled concert of Jin to their private journeys hidden behind the shadows of the cameras, every trace leads us to one conclusion: they are always together. And behind every little gesture, there's a bigger meaning. Not everyone can see it, but you can. Because you know, you feel it. From the very beginning of the concert, their aura felt different. Not just because they appeared together, but because every tiny interaction was rich with meaning. Beneath the stage lights and the cheering crowd, there was a body language that only two hearts who deeply know each other could understand. One of the most striking moments happened when Jungkook whispered something into Jimin's ear. At first glance, it might seem like a simple whisper, but if you look closely, Jimin's eyes lit up like a little rainbow sparked just for Jungkook. And his expression? As if the entire world faded away, leaving only the quiet voice of someone who made him feel at home. And then, another iconic moment. Jungkook changed his outfit, starting off in a stylish Calvin Klein fit, only to switch to a light blue t-shirt, official Jin merchandise. But what made this moment special wasn't just the wardrobe change, it was why he changed. It started when Jimin stood up to talk to staff. Meanwhile, Jungkook, who had been sitting, slowly stood as well and approached. It seemed normal until he too started speaking to staff and, according to fans, asked for permission to change clothes. Maybe it was because of sweat, maybe discomfort. But more than that, it seemed like he wanted to stay neat beside Jimin. And look at this. Jimin even opened Jungkook's jacket at one point, seemingly noticing he was too warm. That wasn't random, that was care. A gesture born from deep familiarity and instinct, as if their bodies were programmed to look after one another. As if Jungkook was saying, "Wait a moment, I'll change real quick. But don't go too far." And true enough, right after changing, he returned to stand right next to Jimin. Close, comfortable. Then there's another moment. When Jimin stood and appeared to be approached by someone, Jungkook's reaction was instant. His eyes scanned the area. His shoulders subtly tensed, as if he was thinking, "What's going on? Are you okay?" Even without words, you could see, his protective mode switched on immediately. And if you watch how he stood beside Jimin, it wasn't random. The distance was intentional, the positioning carefully chosen. Not too close, but close enough to react if Jimin needed anything. Not just as a friend, but as someone who felt responsible for the comfort and safety of the person he cares deeply about. And what melts your heart even more? Jimin's the same. There was a moment when Jungkook walked ahead, but then he realized Jimin had stopped to greet someone. Without hesitation, Jungkook stopped too. He turned around, waited. No rush, no impatience. Because what's the point of moving forward if it's not with Jimin? Jungkook's heart seemed to say, "Oh, he's greeting someone? I'll wait." That's just who they are. Tied together by an invisible thread that keeps them from being apart for more than 5 minutes. If one disappears from view, the other will look. And eventually, they're standing side by side again. Again and again. And beyond the hype of the concert, there were small, sweet moments. Like when Jungkook playfully tickled Jimin, and Jimin playfully slapped his shoulder. This happened while Epiphany played, a song Jimin truly loves. Just imagine, his favorite song, the emotional atmosphere of a concert, and the one person closest to him, teasing him with a smile full of affection. Or when Jimin was chatting with someone, and Jungkook stood just a little farther away, but never lost sight of him. His eyes didn't wander. They stayed on Jimin. And when the conversation ended, they walked side by side again, surrounded by bodyguards. But somehow, no one could pull our attention away from them, because in the middle of the crowd, they're like magnets to each other. Their steps synchronized. Their body language in tune. Sometimes, even without words, they knew exactly where to go. That's not just closeness, it's a soul connection. And when you think you've already gotten emotional, hold on. There's big news. Their first variety program after military service has finally been confirmed. The show is titled Yeoger 2 or Golden Cloverfield. Reportedly, they finished filming in 2 locations, Switzerland and Vietnam. What's intriguing? The US and Japan were not official filming sites. And yet, we know they were spotted in both countries just before and after their enlistment. What does that mean? It likely means their trips to the US and Japan were private. Not work. Not filming schedules. But time spent together. Just the 2 of them. And let's not forget the rumor about the canceled flight. In one report, it was said that Jungkook was scheduled to return to Korea. But just hours before departure, the flight was suddenly canceled. No official reason was given. But fans suspect Jimin, who still had unfinished business, ended up delaying his return together with Jungkook. Once again, together. In silence. Whatever the speculation, one thing is crystal clear. They travel together often. And they don't always want the world to know. Whether it's recording solo music, attending secret meetings, or just spending time together, they know how to protect their privacy. But no matter how hard they try to hide it, there's an aura of togetherness that can't be masked. That aura shines through the way they look at each other, touch each other, wait for each other. It's in every step they take in sync, every small smile shared only between them. Jimin and Jungkook aren't just 2 idols from the same group. They are 2 souls that somehow always find their way back to each other. Whether it's at a concert, an airport, on a quiet street in Switzerland, or backstage before a shoot, there's always a moment when we see them side by side. And for us fans, maybe that's enough. Enough to make our hearts smile. Enough to believe that behind the tough walls of the entertainment industry, there's a soft love story quietly growing, with patience, in silence, and with a love that was never truly hidden. Whatever they try to hide, the camera sometimes catches by accident. A smile that comes too quickly. A gaze that lingers too long. Footsteps that always fall in rhythm. And you know, this isn't just about 2 BTS members. This is about 2 hearts that seem destined to find each other, again and again. We may never get a direct confirmation from them. But maybe we don't need one. Because every small moment they share, on stage, during travels, or just standing together, is already more than enough to make us believe there's something truly special between them. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you feel it too, leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next Jikook Moment video, where love, togetherness, and sweet secrets live on in their eyes.